We're on.
We're on.
We're on.
Hey, everybody. Just wanted to kind of clue folks in as to what we're doing here. Heather was good enough to have me on her channel, and we have been kind of teaming up and talking behind the scenes and decided to do haul videos to the next level. So we're going to do a lot of things here today. We're going to talk about some items that she found. We're going to kind of go back and forth with ideas about research. We're going to talk about a shipping experience that she's had recently. I'm going to give some insights as to my thought process with reselling, as I've been reselling for like over 3 years now. And we just got the idea that we hit it off, things clicked, and we thought, well, why not try an experiment of doing this thing together? So anything to add to that, Heather?
I would just like to let everybody know a little bit about myself. I haven't done that yet. I am coming up on my 1-year mark on selling on eBay June 3rd, and I began it single mom with kids. I actually worked 2 jobs. I was working 80 hours a week, and half of my paycheck was going to daycare.
Wow.
So with that in mind, I wanted to start working for myself so I had more money in my pocket. And that is why I started selling on eBay. So
Nice. Very good. Cool. So do you want to just jump into the haul portion of what you got?
yeah, update on a few things that I have with me.
Cool.
I have a Tommy Bahama embroidered button down 100% silk shirt with the tags. There is no price on them, but they do have their tags on them. I paid $5 for that at a garage sale. The seller originally had 10. I asked her if she would take 5 for it. She agreed. This is a Ralph Lauren Western shirt. Let me get up close here because to my understanding, the research that I've done, Ralph Lauren has different color tags. This is a snap button style, which would be the Western.
Oh, nice.
I do want to state that this is a petite and the Tommy Bahama shirt is a medium. That is something that we'll touch on here in a little bit about sizes.
Right.
This is a vintage dress. That what you're seeing right now is the matching jacket. You can see that's a sleeveless dress underneath.
Oh, wow.
This item I purchased from an estate sale. I want to say that I got that also for about $5. That was going out of my realm of being something that I'm uncomfortable with buying because of lack of knowledge. Now, visually, I fell in love with it. I think it's absolutely wonderful. Definitely something back in the day I would have wore. So that's what led me to buying it. But like I said, it's out of my realm. It's something I'm not comfortable with, but we all have to start somewhere.
Right, exactly. So. While you brought that up, that's a really good point. And I've heard this from a lot of different sources that if you find something, especially in clothing, that you're attracted to because you feel like it has a quality in it, there's a style that you like. I mean, there's got to be somebody else out there that feels the same way about that item. So that's a good indicator that you've got something that has value and that somebody else is going to want to have that, and they'll appreciate that as well.
Right.
So that item, it's wool, right?
It is 100% wool with the vintage tag, which I did not. I have researched this. I didn't come up with as much knowledge as I wanted. I did find out that it's called the Little Shop LaSalle, which I think used to be a Dillard's department store. I'm not, don't quote me 100%. I've actually, because this is out of my realm, this is something that I bought a year ago. It was in the beginning of when I started selling.
Right.
It does have another vintage tag on it, which I did find this one online. It says the Kimberly 100% wool.
Virgin wool, that's good stuff. Yeah.
So there's another good conversation for us is I bought out of my realm, uncomfortable with, and I've hung on to it for a year now. So I think, which is something that maybe a lot of us tend to do.
Right. So you haven't listed it yet?
No, I have not.
Okay. I think on that, because it's wool, it's vintage, I'm assuming the condition is probably like close to pristine.
Yes. Yes.
It's definitely gonna have some value. Sometimes people get lucky with set designers for TV shows, that are period based. I'm guessing that's probably maybe 60s, maybe 50s.
50s, 60s from the research that I have done. That's what I gathered. I actually think that it's closer to the 50s. But like I
Right.
said, vintage, what I found out about vintage clothing is if you don't have that knowledge that you're into clothes, you know a lot about them, it is very hard to research the vintage stuff.
Right, because it's not like there's a lot of information out there about a specific item. And
Right.
that's actually something that belonging to various groups, like Resource Roundtable, it's growing all the time. There's people in there that have, there's a lot of overlap, with areas of expertise and knowledge from people. And that's probably something I would advise you to do when you fall short with your own research. Post a couple pictures and a little bit of a description within Resource Roundtable and tell them, here's what I found about this. This is what I'm missing information wise. Does anybody, have any idea or help with this type of an item? So
the groups have been wonderful. I love Resellers Roundtable. It's been very helpful. I love all the encouragement I've had. I just started doing the YouTube videos, and the encouragement's been absolutely wonderful. Big thank you to everybody out there for that too.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch you do this and start and just grow out of nothing. And it's the YouTube thing is almost kind of a reflection of the eBay thing. You have to open an account, you have to put something on there, you have to add to it, and sometimes it can take just a little bit of time to actually see some growth and make things happen. So that's cool. That's great.
Right.
So let's go back to the other two items for just a second.
Okay.
On the Tommy Bahama, to me, Tommy Bahama is something that has become oversaturated since I started, because that was like the brand I always looked for. That was the first thing I looked for. And to have it new with tags is awesome. Not to mention the fact that it's 100% silk shirt. It's got the embroidery on the back. That's the most coveted of anything. The only drawback to it is the size, which it's a medium. And from my research, that's probably the least favorite sizing of Tommy Bahama shirts. Obviously, the preference is 2X, 3X, maybe XL, and or a little bit of large. And then I've done pretty well with small as well. But the medium size is the one that just sometimes it can just sit there. So my only thing on that is you might want to just go ahead and put it out there, list it for the price that you want. I would do buy it now, best offer, make it a little high, long tail item, unless you want to do a quick flip on it. If somebody offers you, if you put it out there for $60 free shipping or $59.99 free shipping, and somebody offers you $45 free shipping, and that's what you want to do and you want to take that, that's up to you. However you want to handle that, that's that's your thing. But that is one of those items that it's a great item. The problem is that Tommy Bahama brand has been mistaken, that the idea that if you find anything Tommy Bahama, it's worth gold. And nothing can be further from the truth now, because there's so much supply in that stuff, especially on eBay, that prices have dropped. You know, it's all simple economics. It's all supply and demand. And the difference is that with that shirt, it's brand new. And so if somebody wants that shirt in that size and they happen to see it in your eBay store and they were wanting it to purchase from Tommy Bahama's website to begin with, and they can get it from you for, you know, for less, 25%, 33% less than what the actual store charges for it, why wouldn't they want to buy it from you and save?
Right. And you have a lot of good points there, Jay. When I began selling on eBay, I ran into somebody who sold on eBay. She sold part-time. She even showed me what her monthly income was. But she was selling all glass, dishes, glasses. That's what she sold. So intrigued me. I started doing it, found out that yes, I can make money. So I started watching YouTube videos to learn how to sell online. So all your points of stuff being oversaturated there, it's such a great point, because I watch videos and everybody will tell you what to go out to buy. Both of those items that I purchased were items from videos that I watched. And once I got them home and I researched them, I found the Tommy Bahama can go anywhere from $10 to $50 because of being oversaturated up there. The Ralph Lauren shirt that I purchased, that's a little bit different. I did get that for $1. I didn't mention that. That has a possibility of selling for $50, $60. Also, I've seen it up to $70, but I've also seen it as low as $10. The only thing that makes that shirt unique, being a Ralph Lauren shirt, though, is the fact that it's Western style. So I think with the YouTube videos, like you were stating, is a lot of people like to make these videos. They throw the information up there, what they're purchasing, but not a lot of, when you begin, you don't have the knowledge that the medium size is overpopulated up there. You know, so those were very good points. And as a newbie, you know, it's, you just go buy. So you know, end up with all this stuff that you think was, you know, going to bring you money or is going to bring you money, and it just doesn't happen. You know, it takes time.
Right. Yeah. And that's the problem is, you know, if you're on a limited income to get started on this, and, you know, you buy a bunch of stuff and you blow your money, and there's two negative factors to this. If you buy a bunch of mediocre brands, I'm going to call them, because you're getting this information and you're only getting a piece of the information, you're not getting like thorough, the whole story pieces of information. Like, for example, I learned within Resource Roundtable that there was a point in time where I avoided Eddie Bauer until I learned in the group that Eddie Bauer Vintage has good value, has good return on investment. It's the current stuff that doesn't sell for much. So just little pieces of information like that make all the difference in your success, especially when you're new. And this is what you and I have been talking about, you know, behind the scenes, is that, so you're tempted to go for all these like low profit items because they're accessible and they're right there and they're easy, and you're thinking, oh, I can make money off of this, right? And you go to a garage sale and you buy 10 items of clothing, and it's Eddie Bauer, it's Hollister, it's Abercrombie, it's American Eagle. You know, those college brands, when I first started, they were hot. You could not screw that up. But now most of that stuff, unless it's a unique item, you almost can't give the stuff away. So go ahead.
Right. And I was going to say that, you know, that's what prompted me to reach out to you, because like I said, I'm coming up on a year, my sales weren't that good, and I just to me, I was struggling trying to figure out what I was doing wrong. So, reaching out to you has helped me tremendously. Having somebody to help you really means, it means a lot, because there are those little things that, people just being a newbie, you don't understand and you don't know, like you're stating, you stated about having a lot of stuff and having just minimal, making maybe a $10 profit where you could be making, 25, 50, $100 profit, which is what everybody wants. So
right. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that analogy that we were talking about the other day about the money truck. The armed car money truck. Turns over in the street and the money's blowing everywhere. And you've got singles, you've got fives, you've got 10s, 20s, 50s, and 100s. If you're in a situation where you've got an abundance of opportunity of cash right there, dollar bills have far less value than $100 bills. So what are you going to do? If you've got everything in the mix right there in front of you and you know the difference, are you going to spend your time picking up the ones? No. You're going to go for the 100s, and then the 50s, and then the 20s, and then the 10s, and then maybe if it gets down to it and you have to pick up, free money is free money, right?
Right.
But there really is no such thing as free in this, because it costs you time, it costs you energy. You have to list the stuff, you have to ship the stuff, you have to deal with customers. So I'm not saying that to necessarily be greedy with what you're doing, but work efficiently, work smart. And what I see, including myself, I had kind of a coach when I first started this as well. And just a buddy of mine, he's been doing it for quite a long time. And he had his thing and he taught me everything he knew. And then I had to figure out my niche out of what he gave me for like infrastructure information. Because he's like an athletic guy and he's in Nevada. And he's close to like a Patagonia outlet store and a North Face outlet store. So he has access to all this sporting outdoor athletic brand stuff that's high dollar value. I run across those things few and far between here. So he had a huge advantage based on his geographic location to establish his niche. And so I had to learn, I have more like name brand, popular clothing. And because at the time I started, I was just doing men's. And so you have to figure out what works for you. And that's the thing, Mike and Resource Roundtable, he's always saying, you got to do what works for you. And that's really something that I think that is, the longer I've been doing this, the more that makes complete sense. Because if you try and do something based on a mathematical formula, A plus B equals C, it turns into algebra really quick, because the missing piece is you and your location and your circumstances and whatnot. And if you don't know what X is, or your X is not going to be my X. And that's what completely different for every single person. So anyway, so I want to touch on the whole idea of the mistake of, as far as being a newbie, and you've only got so much money, you buy these items, you're excited, but you're buying low profit items because you don't know any better, so they don't sell quickly, you can't turn over your money, or you have to sell them for so cheap that you make a couple bucks profit. Then you get burned out on it because it's like, well, this isn't working. What am I doing wrong? I went through the same thing myself. I think that today, if you're a new person doing this, just getting started with this, the two most important pieces of information that you and I can give them from our collective experience, me starting well over 3 years ago, and you starting a year ago, these haven't changed. That's buy smart and make sure that you've got good profit items wherever you possibly can. Oh, actually, let me rephrase that. Don't buy something just because you can. Just because it's there doesn't mean that you should pay for it, even if it's cheap, unless it's free, and then take it home and put it in your listing pile and get frustrated. So just because it's there, if it's low profit and you've got other options as far as a higher profit, go with those other higher profit / unique items. That solves a lot of the problem right there. And then the other problem is the stuff that doesn't churn very fast. Just
Right.
because you get something for 50 cents, it's still 50 cents out of your pocket, and then another 50 cents and $1 and $3 and $5. And pretty soon, you've got, $300 into your beginning process of all this. And if you've got, say, 100 items in that, just for numbers' sake, and you're only selling 6 of those, you've got 94 items sitting there that you put your money into that aren't selling, and it's like you kind of start to, get in like freak mode. What am I going to do? That's why it's important to make sure that wherever possible, you do some research before you even go out and figure out what has value. Stick with what you know. Stick with something that makes you, when you grab it, intrinsically you know that it has value. You knew that vintage dress and coat, you knew that it was quality, right?
Right. Oh yeah.
Even though it was out of your mode.
Right. Like I said, it's a beautiful piece. You just don't it's rare when I think you come across very nice vintage pieces still.
Right.
I know the price was right. I do have a budget that I try to budget myself with. In the beginning, like you stated, I was going and just buying everything. So now here I'm stuck. I do have a pile of stuff that's either not worth listing because of the fees, or it's oversaturated up there. So I think we all have experienced that, definitely.
Right. And one thing that's changed since I started doing this, that's become really popular, is when you have those items and you haven't listed them yet, but maybe the research results change. Maybe you bought something 6 months ago, and at that time it was selling for $30 free shipping on average. But now, because there's so many of those same things and you didn't list yours, that it's worth, $12.99 free shipping. I'm starting to play with the idea of actually that low profit stuff, rather than spending the time and the energy in listing it, putting it on a Facebook group and selling it locally, and at least get your money back out of it and make $1 or $2 profit and walk away.
That's a really good idea. And I agree with you completely. When I first started selling a year ago, vintage Polaroid cameras were a great buy for me. I mean, I was selling those left and right, making, a $25 profit on them. It was fantastic. Here in the last month, I've picked up 4 Polaroid cameras. It's kind of like a wave. I'm in Ohio, so it's kind of like a wave. You find them, you don't find them. And I've picked up 4, and when I researched those, oh my goodness, I think if you're lucky to sell them for $20 is what I've noticed. But to my understanding, that Polaroid unlocked their vault and they brought the film back. So now they're not a highly sought out item.
Okay. And yeah, this is like an evergreen business, and it's always changing. It's always, cycling. Stuff comes in and out of popularity all the time. One thing on those Polaroids, if you haven't done it yet, I know we've talked about this, but I figured out for myself that even low profit individual items, if you have the opportunity of picking them up in bundles, they become high profit items, because you're shipping 4 in one shipment, as opposed to paying shipping a smaller amount on 4 individual items, which makes the 4 of them combined that much more profitable. Now that we're doing it again.
Right, which is something that I have thought about here. I am giving one away, but however, I did think, because I have 2 of the rainbow 600s Polaroids with the rainbow down the front, and I have a 1-step is what I picked up. Altogether, I think I've spent on all 4 of them maybe $7. So
Perfect.
one I spent $5. The other ones were, and I even got Polaroid film with one of them. So there you go. So.
Wow. Nice. Cool. Well, let me think. So we went over your haul stuff. Is there anything from your other videos that you've sold since you talked about those items?
Yes, in my other videos, I had it was called MC Cat 12 disc set. It was for school, and I purchased that at the Goodwill. I did sell that. I also sold a 5 disc CD changer that I purchased at an auction for $2. Which brings up to a good point what we were going to talk about, lack of knowledge and shipping. Those items I learned a very hard lesson on both of those items. The MC Cat 12 disc set was under a pound. So I did list it, sell as, free first class shipping. And I didn't know, because I didn't research, I did not know that you could not ship first class in a priority box. I did ship it in a priority, it was very thin, looked like it was the size of a record album. So I took the box, left it flat, slid it in the middle, taped up the box, a priority box. And the post office returned it back to me because of the first class. I paid first class, shipped it first class in a priority box.
In a priority box with the label.
Right. So I did take it to the post office. I ended up getting hit. They didn't ship it priority. They voided the label, shipped it priority. The priority, I'm trying to think. I think it was 5 something opposed to where I could have paid 3 something. So it did cost me more than what I expected, and I got a big slap on the hand and warned, do not do that again. That's that could be some serious trouble.
Right.
So once again, there's questions for newbies that when you have no knowledge of what to do or where to go. That could have been a great eBay coaching question there for an experience, from an experienced seller. So I did have that happen, which, by the way, after selling a year, you think you know it all, and you really don't. I'm throwing questions at Jay still on a regular basis. I have to ask him many questions. I sold the 5 disc changer, and I'm under my shipping for that. I had U.S. Postal Service, I had UPS and FedEx as the choices. I thought I had went through and deleted all my UPS and FedEx off of there because I've discovered that I love shipping through the Postal Service. I think that they have the best prices.
Yeah, me too.
Sold the 5 disc changer, was going to South Carolina, and without realizing, the guy picked UPS. So I had the disc changer. I went away over the weekend, and when I go away over the weekend, what I do is I put everything on sale in my store. Well, I had the disc changer at $49.99 with free shipping, forgetting to check the shipping, and had the UPS up there. Long story short, it went on sale for $37 some odd change. It sold. I come back home. Then I find out it was the UPS that I had to pay for. So it ended up costing me $25 to sell that or to ship it through UPS. So hard lesson on, putting your store on sale, double checking yourself, checking the shipping, deciding what's best for you. That hurt me because that was $25 that I had to pay for, which then brought the 5 disc changer, sold it for $37, you minus the $25, you minus the $2. My profit was a $12 profit, still not taking out the eBay fees or PayPal yet.
Right. So what would the shipping cost had been had you only done U.S. Post Office?
Post office, I think should have been, the disc changer weighed 8 pounds, packaged up in the box. So I think if I'm correct that it would have been about $12. Not,
Okay,
it would have been over $15. That's even, I think that's pushing it.
right.
So
So you would have had $2 in, $12 out for shipping, so $15 roughly out the door on a $50 item. So it should have been about a $30 profit and a
correct.
$12 profit because of the combination of being on sale and forgetting to remove the other shipping options and just having it be USPS.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah. Wow.
So that there's another learning lesson the
Yeah.
hard way.
Yeah. And all this stuff is, I mean, we all go through this, and usually these lessons, there are lessons that you learn one time. You make the mistake one time, you learn it, you never do it again, and it's just like check it off the list and call it good. So the more of the stuff that you can have knowledge of ahead of time and be prepared for, that's more profit. We're talking $35 had you not had that on sale, right?
Right. Right.
Could have been a $35 profit. I mean, I remember, I think for me to get my first $25 profit item, I think I was doing it for at least 6 months. And I was doing a lot of $5, $7, $9 profit items. It took me forever to get to my average of being at like a $12 profit per item situation. But again, and that was before, that was when I just had my buddy. I didn't have any groups. There were just starting to really be some videos out there. And it was a different world. But so I think that's pretty much everything that we were talking about. Was there anything else that you wanted to go over?
No, I not go over, but I have some things I'd like to say is, as a newbie, we'll call them, the expert sellers, call them eBay coaches. As a newbie, I highly suggest reaching out to somebody. It's very important, and it's, if you want to be successful at selling online, I think it's very, very important.
Right.
As I've done with you, you've helped me tremendously.
Cool. I appreciate that. It's been fun. It's, all this stuff, it is time consuming. And, yeah, I think for me, the main thing with you is that you were like one of the few people I've come across that you'd ask a question, I'd give an answer, and before I knew it, you were like implementing the answer and just doing it,
Right.
And that's cool. I mean, a lot of people, it's like they'll ask the question, they'll get an answer, and it's kind of like, yeah, well, I don't know, and nothing happens with it, and that's the end of that. So, but anyway, okay. So it looks like maybe you need to kind of wrap things up and
I do. I apologize. Single mom.
Single mommy eBay reseller.
That's right. So, well, Jay, it's been wonderful. I'm so glad that you accepted, agreed to do the discussion with me. I look forward to many more discussions with you. And like I said, I want to give everybody out there in Resellers Roundtable a big thank you for the encouragement with my videos. It means a lot to me. It's, sometimes we just need that push to get over that fence.
Cool. Good. Well, hey, yeah, it's been fun. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay, thanks everybody. Bye.
Later.